With Lextech's focus on employee experiences driving business results, we're having lots of conversations with folks about applying AI and where it fits in the enterprise. And we're seeing a lot of organizations really struggle with looking at starting with AI because of the infrastructure and cloud platforms and which models and locking that all down. And while that has to happen, unfortunately, where we really need to be focusing is with our people. How are we trying to give folks superpowers? How is AI supposed to help? And starting with a people first approach really improves speed to market and gets solutions in the hands of our teams much, much faster. And I'd like to walk you through what that process looks like, where those core infrastructure investigations can still happen, but we can get AI interfaces in the team's hands much quicker. Now that starts with looking at the technology that employees are already using. So for example, those custom iPad and iPhone apps that are already in place in the organization, that's a great place to start. In particular, because we're going to look at what can we put on the device itself and start getting that person comfortable with communicating with an AI. And that doesn't necessarily mean putting a chat window on. A lot of the times the conversation is, let's have a voice interface. Let me talk to the application. So the first piece of it is, let me navigate the app using my voice. I'm going to build some comfort doing that, flipping between screens, showing information. The second is being able to pose some questions for data that's already in that app. No magic has to happen here. If I need to do an address lookup or query something about a schedule, a simple process to, again, take my voice, turn it into text and understand it, I can get questions answered from the app as it stands today. Then we can start expanding that into a two-way conversational interface via voice to, again, drive more value for the user from the application of today, but get them comfortable communicating with an AI. And then when it's ready, we can start expanding out into those amazing capabilities that we're going to see from Gen AI platforms to really help people ask different types of questions than they've ever been able to do. But we do that once folks are used to interacting with the AI. We don't start there. So from an overall process perspective, let's talk about the technology involved to get us there. So as we're leaning in and first doing that voice control and voice navigation, there's a couple of pieces of technology that need to exist on the device itself. So specifically talking, again, we'll use an iPad application as an example, Core ML and having a speech-to-text model, something very simple running on the device, allows me to talk and for text to be generated in real time. Now from there, we can put a small AI model, an LLM, but very small, on the device itself. Again, keeping all of our information on device so that we can interpret those user requests and link them to parts of the application. At the same time, we can be adding the app intents from an iOS perspective. The intents are what's critical for Siri and Apple Intelligence to be able to navigate to that application when I'm out at the operating system or in it, but I get double the value here. By building in this voice interface where I can start interacting more deeply, I'm going to create those intents, I'm going to create the function calls in the code so that we can actually trigger them via voice. And then we can do a little bit more advanced work with the Core ML model to answer questions for the user, not just navigate them around. So again, starting on device with technology that's already here today and expanding it more and more as Apple Intelligence allows us to expose it at the operating system level. And then we start reaching out to those more advanced remote LLMs potentially on our network. There are ways to secure it so I don't have to go to the cloud, but that's where we can bring those conversations together. And that's where agents come in and get really exciting as well. So that's the process that we're working through with folks, and we're having great conversations and seeing those results as speed to market is critical. Folks are all clamoring for AI, but until our employees get comfortable with it and we focus on them and how it can help them and getting them used to using it, it's a real challenge to bring out. So this approach helps folks get started faster and get the superpowers to the team much quicker.